Recently, I participated in this thing called a Let 'em Dare 46 Game Jam. It's where you make a game in either 48 or 72 hours. I chose to do a 72 hours because, I'm new. So before we get started, I want to give some background to it. So first off, with the school break starting, I had a lot of free time, so I made a game. It wasn't too good, but it taught me how to, make games and skills that I need and stuff. And then I found out about the Let 'em Dare 46, which was in my extended break. So I signed up for that, and I got this wonderful username at Thompson. That's great. Anyways, fast forward to a week prior, I looked at the rules and I found out that I could use any prior base code, so I made some. Because I knew that the scope management was going to be a big problem, and a lot of people have this problem, I decided to keep this game very simple and straightforward. After that, I kind of thought to myself, how am I going to keep myself busy for 72 hours? I'm just going to give up, right? So then I asked a friend to join me. So yeah. Anyways, 3 days prior to the game jam, I made a Trello page and added basic generic components that every game needs to have. Things like player controllers, rewards, obstacles, objectives, etc. And I don't know what else to add. If you guys know, please tell me. Yeah. One of the last preparations I made was I learned how to do pixel art and animations for it. I ended up creating this little blob thing in Photoshop with an idle animation. It was pretty cool. Yeah, finally. I think we can start explaining what the game jam what I did for the game jam. Okay, so day one I kind of woke up at 6 and I got myself ready. And then, because of my time zone, I was able to get in my opinion, a slight advantage from the EU and NA people. As the prompt is given at 9 a.m. for me, which means I get, once I get my idea, I could just go straight into thinking of what game I should make and whatnot. So when the prompt came up, I checked Twitter and it said, keep it alive. Keep it alive. I thought that this prompt was way too generic because literally any game's main objective is to stay alive. People had a lot of different takes on it in the end. I saw dancing games, saw zombie games, and etc. The prompt allowed basically for any genre, in my opinion. Then I realized that my friend didn't wake up in time, and probably won't wake up in time, so I started drawing my plan by myself. This is probably not the best idea, and it ended up working in my opinion. During the planning phase, I try to make the plan to not be too restrictive or direct. I wanted to be able to expand on the idea as I'm developing. And by 8:30, I got my idea and started working on the game. So, I added my terrible platformer controller, which I found out it didn't even work and it just had so much bugs. So I kind of rewrote it and spent a little too long. I feel like it took me about 2 hours. Anyways, I created the first platform tile and then put it into the game and tested it out. It ran so much more better and stuff. And then my friend decided it was finally time for him to wake up, so he joined on Discord, and yeah. I set up the Unity collab. That was what we were going to use. I thought it was easy and simple enough. It's better than GitHub and stuff, in my opinion. And just started working on the game. He worked on the health system, I believe, and I made the sprites for it. And after I made the sprites, I worked on the spikes that you see in game. This was our very first obstacle that was created, and that was day one. Oh yeah, he also made the entire inventory system, but it had too much bugs, just like my amazing player controller. just had so much bugs, and I had to rewrite it. Anyways, for day 2, I woke up at 7, and I work on the sprite mask, level art, and background. Keep in mind, this was before my teammate woke up, so when he woke up, he was able to do the levels right away, because I already gave him all the assets for it. In addition, I found this cool tutorial by Danny. He made a video about the parallax effect, and I did that for the background, which was pretty cool. After that, I added some character animations and audio managers, and that was my afternoon. And lastly, I created some turrets which have homing missiles, and that was kind of easy because I just had to copy my old code that I made for a previous game. And yeah, I thought that was completely done. Our game was done, sealed, all we have to do is levels, and that's it. But no, I was wrong. My friend's amazing inventory system just completely destroyed itself. Just, you know, I had to remove some ideas that we're gonna implement in the game because we still had time. I thought life was going great, but no. So then I had to find time to fix that. But the problem was with the inventory system, it worked perfectly in the editor. Well, not perfectly, but close. It worked good enough in the editor. But when you build the game, the selected slot is rendered in the wrong. So the item is rendered in the wrong slot, in the wrong inventory slot. So I stayed up to 1 AM trying to build a completely new inventory system. Thank God it worked, actually. But in retrospect, I should have known that this might be a challenge and should have checked over his code, but mistakes. Anyways, unfortunately, day 3, it was a Monday. I had school, I had e-learning. This meant that I lost roughly 5 hours of time, which is better than more time. I don't know. Although, during the breaks and lunch and some classes, sorry teachers, I did a bit of level design, which kind of, helped make more levels, which is kind of fun, because I felt like we had enough levels for a good 15 minutes of gameplay. And in the end, this was our main day to work on all the levels, so we were kind of on track. I created 4 levels while my friend created the rest. I was really proud of my credit scene in the very end. I made that. It was the first time I was able to make a professional looking product with the animator, the Unity animator. And by 9 AM we finished our game, and my friend logged off. I don't know why, but he just did. He's like, I'm going. And little did he know, I had to stay up until 6 AM trying to figure out how to get our game to different platforms. For some reason, my computer just couldn't build anything except for the Mac build. So first off, the wonderful Windows build. Oh boy. It may seem simple just to put everything in one app, but no. Apparently I had to use my old computer with a Windows boot camp, because Mac, right? And install something called Inno setup and follow a tutorial for it. Luckily I was able to find it. That guy was really nice. And secondly, it takes 30 minutes to make a cloud build. That was the only way I could build the actual files. The HTML though, it took 20 minutes. It wasn't that bad, but I just had a lot of problems with it. End of the day, it was a fun experience anyways. And finally, day 4. I'm kidding. It was only day 3. I submitted it on time, 3 hours ahead, because I needed sleep, so 3 hours. But day 4 was kind of when I had to go to sleep and everything, and I catch up on my sleep. So So I went through school, I did a bunch of the legendary submissions from other people, gave them feedback, ratings, and yeah, that's how I made a game in 72 hours. Bye bye.